All right. And
take it away.
we are back with Linda, founder of MaxEx. I'm Mike Theofo, everybody. You guys know Tony, cousin Tony in the back over there.
Hey, guys.
Once again, my brother is not here. We love him. The show must go on. Linda, we met, for the audience out there, we met, I want to say, what was it, Tony, 3 weeks ago?
I'd say about, 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago at one of you guys, if you guys are regular of the show, you guys definitely have seen Eco Dude. We had him in a couple weeks ago, Brad Kerner, and at his storefront open is where we met. You called us a boy band, and then Renee come, and then now what's the group with Gwen Stefani? No Doubt?
No doubt.
No doubt.
Then we became No Doubt. Yeah. And honestly, I love that. And that from there, your energy was amazing. Your vibes were amazing. And I'm really happy to have you here.
Thanks. It's good to be with you guys. I was looking forward to this.
No, yeah, me too, honestly. We last talked, though, in Sono, and I found out that you were in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's where legends are made.
You know what? And I think more are made there than people realize, because you have to understand, too, the restaurant industry is very much it's either like, a launching point for a lot of people, or, for me, I was a music major. And while I was, performing and going to auditions and going to music school, to make money, I worked in a restaurant. But what happened for me is, after working in restaurants throughout the area, I kind of got hooked on it.
Fast life.
I love the adrenaline of it, the people part of it, and I was always really into food, and being a city person, obviously I was into food, and I was always a great cook, even before I went to culinary. So yeah, I ended up dropping out of music school.
Well, that's what I was gonna. We'll get. I want to. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we just found out before, guys, you weren't on here on the show, but you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Manhattan, New Canaan. I kind of want to know about that time, like growing up. What made you who you are now, basically? How did you get to this place right now, sitting here in front of us fine folks?
In front of my boy band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a city lifestyle that my folks wanted my brothers and I to have. They're born and raised in Brooklyn, and we always had that Manhattan side to us, where I grew up in a house that was very, food was very much a part of life, and so was arts and entertainment, and 100% Italian. But
honestly, all Downtime's Italian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone
All
is Italian except me. It's crazy.
I knew it.
No, it's not.
I'm like inherently Italian now.
Yeah, by osmosis.
Yes.
You're like, yeah.
I'm now tomato. How are you? How's your father? How's your mother? Huh?
It happened.
Yeah.
And then you start talking with your hands.
Oh my God.
And then it's all good.
Matt's the worst. Go ahead.
It's expressive.
It's just, you got it,
Yeah, this is hard for me to sit here like
Yeah,
this.
no,
I always hit the mic and everything. It's brutal.
So, that was, my life growing up like that. And then, so obviously I was into arts and entertainment, and I ended up going to music school. I had majored in my voice, but, I was taking everything from music history and vocal basics. I didn't know if I was going to perform or if I was going to teach. Looking back on it, it's a damn good thing that's not what happened. But I had, to make money, I was working in the restaurant. But, growing up in, city life there's no other life like it. You are just exposed to so many things and culture. And part of culture is food and entertainment and music and just, a lifestyle. And coming to Fairfield County to go to high school. And that was just because my parents didn't want us to go to private school. They wanted us to have a public school.
Wow. So you were in public school in the city?
No, so we moved out.
All right, got it.
So we ended up moving to New Canaan so that we could continue to go to a public school, and obviously New Canaan is an excellent school system.
Beautiful place.
So yeah, that's how it started, and then I just left the entertainment side of things.
Where'd you go to school for undergrad?
Or
for where were you going to go for music school? Where was that?
Well, I had got a scholarship to the Stockholm Academy of Music.
Cool.
And then, so I was overseas, back and forth a lot. And then to get some of my other credits, I was going to SUNY Purchase, which was really convenient, going in and out of the city with, auditions and, just doing a lot of community theater and, singing in a band. And,
wow.
Yeah, it was great. And, I do miss it. My pipes, they call them the pipes. The pipes are gone. I can probably carry a tune, but when you're not singing, you do lose it.
Yeah, it's like working out almost, but like your throat.
Yeah.
Tony does a lot of singing in the car.
I do. Especially when I'm alone in the car, I really pelt it out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Shower singing was the best like warm-ups. I
Ooh.
remember my conductor would be like, "There's no better place to practice than."
It's like because of the steam and stuff.
And
Yeah.
I feel like the sound too.
The acoustics are really
Yes.
good. Yeah, you're warmed up. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good to know.
Yeah. So then what happened when you were, in that area? You're going back and forth, back and forth. Something must have happened because.
For the entertainment stuff, I just sort of got burnt out, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it was, there's so much pressure, and
Mm-hmm.
auditioning is exhausting, and there's so much rejection, and it's like it's everything that you see like in the movies and on TV. It's all true. But like I said, it was really more that I got hooked on the restaurant industry, and I felt like, oh wait, maybe I should pivot here, So I dropped out and had that long conversation with my folks and said, hey, I want to go to culinary school. Yeah, that didn't go over too well.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us start off, doing like we don't, we start off doing one thing and then we learn and we grow and and even since my chefing, so I was a chef for a little over 10 years. I did another pivot, into what I'm doing now. So,
Right.
But at least now I feel like I'm still working with the industry. I'm just working within a different capacity.
Right.
So
More of the marketing and that kind of side
now,
of it.
I was back of the house, and now,
Right.
now I consider myself front of the house.
Yeah, way front, like
Way front.
yeah, like up top where the owners are, like hanging with them.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. I always value and appreciate someone who's worked in the industry because it is tough. It's tough hours. It's you're making your money on Friday, Saturday, Sunday brunch. That's the times when your people are doing stuff. So you miss that. And then it's weird because it's like then during the week you're free, you know what I mean? And it's like no one's free. It's just different. It's a very different life. And like I said, it's hard and you have to be very good with people. Like you just have to be. You can't be a weirdo and not talk and like, I used to be, honestly, I'm not going to toot my own horn. I was probably maybe the best server out there, honestly.
You did tell me that.
I was amazing. I the kids, oh my God. I just knew how to entertain. I knew that they were coming in to be treated well and like have an experience where they don't have to worry about anything. That's my thing. They always make fun of me now because we'll be at we go out a lot and I'll clean up everything before and have it ready for them and then they'll all be like, he was in the industry.
Well, that's what you say too. I was in the industry for 12 years.
It wasn't. They make fun of me that I was that long.
Because it makes immediately that person is kind of like there's something there's a camaraderie with people that are in this industry and it's an undeniable camaraderie and it's also a very incestuous industry, so we just like all relate to each other in a very different way, I feel.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's good life skills. I always say to parents, you should make your kid work in a restaurant.
Especially
it's just one of those things.
Early on, being a busboy or whatever, you just there's no talking, there's no you just gotta work.
You just gotta hoof it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in a busy place, it's nothing like it.
Yeah.
So what made you stop being a chef?
Burnout. I was hurting, to be honest. It's a very labor intensive industry. I mean, just think about it. You're in an unnatural position for about 18 hours of the day.
Literally.
No one is meant to stand upright and hunch for 18 hours. And I don't care what kind of shoes you're wearing or any of those things. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It hurts. It breaks your body down. And I remember it was my ex-husband who said, Lynn, you're killing yourself. And you're just too young to literally you're just like, your body's breaking down.
Yeah.
And I was feeling burnt out. And I was, toward the latter part of my cooking, I was doing the catering part for Remy. I worked for Remy Gautier for a number of years. And it was catering, which I loved because we get to, go to really cool places.
Right.
And the menu was always changing. So it wasn't like I was, cooking.
Making the same thing over and over.
So that part was great.
Yeah.
But, 80% of catering is just the physicality and the organization and lugging stuff
Setting
around.
it up, going back and forth. I know.
20% cooking.
Yeah.
But 80% of it was just very physically demanding. And it was burnout. It's true what they say. It was just straight burnout. Which made me a little nervous because I thought, oh, geez, now what do I do?
Right.
But then, that's a whole other story because.
And how would it tell us it? That's what we're here for.
That was, a friend within the industry who just said, I think you would be good at what I do. And he's a publicist. So I was like, why on earth do you think I would be good at that? And he started kind of rattling off all the different elements that go
that you need to have. Yeah.
And he said, there's a lot of events. You definitely have that down. just, the command of the room and just your big personality. Right. And he knew me, and I was always wrote very well. And he says, there's a lot of writing. He says, you're a great writer. I think that was part of the entertainment side of me, that I could write.
Right.
So
back like screenwriting kind of stuff, like music and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a command of the language, you know, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I think that can't be taught. I think a lot of that you have to have naturally.
Right.
So I ended up just working with his firm for a year, and it was mostly for entertainment. So I was working with all these the old timers. I was working like with Chuck Negron from Three Dog Night, and John Kay from Steppenwolf, Joe Bean Esposito, Dr. John, God rest his soul. So I was working with all these really cool like old time rock and rollers,
right.
And I was having a great time. Don't get me wrong, but I missed the food part of things. And then we had an opportunity to open what was then called the Motown Cafe. It was across the street from the Hard Rock Cafe in the city.
Is that? I don't mean to sound like an idiot, but was it Motown themed?
Motown
okay,
themed.
Cool, because it's like,
and it was from
my kind of place.
Yeah, it was like from the major heads of Motown that wanted their own restaurant, because they had a Hard Rock Cafe, and they were like, well, how about a Motown Cafe?
Yeah.
So Gary's firm was approached to do the PR for that, and he wasn't going to take it because it's not his thing, but he was talking to me about it, and I kind of convinced him to take it and said, hey, if you take this on, give me the lead on it. Just manage me. And that's what happened. So we did the opening of the Motown Cafe. And he and I both realized that for me, that was a great fit, because I got to do the PR, and then I got to incorporate it into the restaurant industry. But he was very honest with that. He didn't want to do that again. And so he suggested that I go off on my own.
Yeah.
So I was like, are you firing me? He's like, no. He's like, you're going to thank me.
Yeah.
And that's what he always said to me. He says, you're going to thank me that I, kind of
like he could see this, like the spark in your eye.
Yeah.
Then for this type of PR and marketing. And,
right. A niche.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
To have, a niche.
Good word.
And there were a lot of, publicists doing the hospitality industry in the city, but there was no one doing it in Fairfield County, which is where I was living at the time. And then a gal that worked at the firm in the city with me, her cousin is Andy Forsheimer, and that's the owner of the Barcelona Restaurant Group.
Oh, okay.
Which was then the Barcelona Restaurant Group. Now it's Barteca. So yeah, that was my first PR job on my own, was with Barcelona.
Wow.
So I was with them for 12 years.
Wow.
And that's how it started.
Cool.
I know. I lucked out.
Yeah, no, seriously, because like you just named a restaurant that is big, and then they came out with Bar Taco, and that's, I'd say, arguably bigger.
Yeah.
And
that was the first one we did was in Port Chester.
What else do they own? Is that it?
That was it. So they owned the Barcelona brands and the Bar Taco brands, and then they were sold. That was at the end of my 12 years, but I had a great run with them. I was able to do the cookbook with them, and and by then I had other clients, and the business was growing. But the fact that was, the first client out of the gate for my company was huge. Yeah,
like set the tone, like boom, this is actually the right move. I made the right decision. Like it all lined up essentially, kind of.
And it's,
that's
it's who you know.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's unfortunate that it always has to be who you know, because there's a lot of great talent out there, and just because they're not connected in some way, they're not being utilized. So that kind of bothers me. I've always had very good fortune, and I make no bones about it. I just lucked out surrounding myself with the right people, and a lot of it wasn't purposeful. It just luck, and
divine destiny.
Yeah, and I don't mind saying that I lucked out. I know I've been very fortunate, and I don't poo-poo that.
I mean, they say luck is preparation and hard work coming together. So you could chalk it up to that. So now, because we've talked, and so now you've got a really cool project though with your company in Norwalk, and you guys do Best of Norwalk.
Best of Norwalk.
Tell people a little bit about that, because I think it's, excuse me, it's a little bit different what you guys are doing, I'd say, with a city, even though Norwalk is a smaller city, still a city.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool because, for example, Connect Fairfield, love Debbie, she's amazing.
Debbie. Love her.
And like, they're trying to do Fairfield's trying to do something, I guess, like that within a Fairfield Minute and Connect Fairfield, but this is a whole nother level. This is like an app. This is like the full shebang.
Yeah, this started though, which is, so it's interesting the way it started. It was started with the Norwalk Parking Authority, and which was 4 years ago, and the Norwalk Parking Authority had marketing dollars that they wanted to utilize. And they weren't going to utilize it, how I was told, they weren't going to utilize it in advertising. They wanted to utilize it in some way to support small businesses. Now, surprisingly, the city of Norwalk never had like a marketing arm in place, which is surprising because we're Norwalk compared to some other Fairfield County towns. It's actually pretty like touristy. So if travel and tourism is big, you usually have like a hub where it's like it's a CVB of some sort.
Yeah,
of
like
travel
this is where you go
tourism.
to get info.
Yeah, exactly. Norwalk didn't have that, and so the parking authority latched onto that and said that they wanted to create a marketing arm. So we ended up getting the gig, and we created, which was then called Norwalk Now, which I love that name, and I'll explain why we changed it. But so it was called Norwalk Now, and it was, again, small business marketing arm, and it was just complete support for small businesses. But it was primarily dining, recreation, entertainment, like all the kind of fun, fluff stuff.
Right.
And it was a website, and it was very event geared, and it had lots of social media, and my whole team came on board with it, and we created this amazing program. So cut to 3 years later, right before COVID, actually. And the city now decided to take those funds from Parking Authority and put it into travel and tourism. But for us to do travel and tourism during a pandemic wasn't like a good business decision.
No,
for us.
no.
We like to
You're
work
like by
hard,
yourself outside, like,
yeah, not that hard.
hey, everybody that's not here.
Yeah, we were like, no, we don't want to work that hard. So the contract was up with Norwalk Now, but we didn't want to give it up, in all honesty. So we basically made a deal with the city and said, we would like to keep this since you're going to go off and do this other thing.
Yeah.
And the city finally,
Gave in.
Gave in.
They
And,
definitely regret it, I would say, right?
I think
I mean, it's helping
now-
the city though, regardless.
Well, exactly. So they let us, take everything over, and then we rebranded to Best of Norwalk because the company that does the mobile app, they're called Best of Ventures, and they have Best of Cities throughout the United States. So again, Linda and her good fortune, I now have this national company that says, hey, we want to buy Best of Norwalk, or we want to partner with you.
Yeah.
And we're going to create a mobile app with the companion site, and you guys keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But now we have the luxury of not answering to the city.
Yeah.
Which is, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but when you're working with the city, you have
There's a lot of influences.
and there's the politically
Yes,
driven
yes.
and what you have to do for businesses.
Right.
We march to our own drummer now. We decide what goes on the app.
Right.
We decide if we want to do events or not. Everything now is very free and very fluid and very it's just very organic, and having the mobile app, which is just basically like a handheld resource. You
Yeah,
just
I
put,
think
like,
it's
a
dope.
city in your hand.
It's way better than going to
a website.
or even just like you said, like going into the town and like having to go to this one spot to be like, what's there to do here?
Yeah.
Where is all this stuff? So
Yeah.
it's coming right to you now, folks. Like,
Yeah, it's just, you just scroll through, and there's also professional services in there. So there's like a whole classifieds listing. So you could even find, the landscaper and the realtor and your bank officer and your interior designer. You can find all these other industries, but the main categories, remain dining, entertainment, recreation, all the attractions.
Yeah.
We have our own media, our own buzz,
love it.
as we call it. So we have some great writers writing for us. In fact, one of our writers has agreed to get her first tattoo as part of her assignment. I'm so excied about that. So,
like she's gonna go to a tattoo shop or
well,
something.
because Norwalk has a lot
Yeah.
of great tattoo talent. And so we were thinking of articles. You can't just keep writing about food, even though we've got great food. But she's going to be a lot of fun.
That's cool.
To do the editorial. So she's getting her first tattoo for that.
That's
that
so
article.
funny.
Yeah. So we, again, we want to think outside the box. We want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
We don't have anyone to answer to. Which
love that.
Is very. Yeah, I'm not used to that because I'm very client driven. And,
Right.
I'm always reporting, and it's part of the gig, and I love it. But Best of Norwalk is like what we want to make of it.
Yeah.
But it's got, a 3.5 year history already.
Right.
And now this is just the next level.
Yep.
And that's what makes it really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's such a cool idea. I think, especially in this area, you're gonna see, I think, a lot of other cities follow suit when they see
Right.
what you guys are doing and how successful I think it will be.
Well,
I mean,
Fairfield's doing one.
they are doing one.
Yeah.
Okay, Best of Fairfield?
Best of Fairfield,
Okay,
and
cool.
then we have Best of Greenwich coming on the heels of that.
Awesome.
So that'll be the first 3 in Connecticut.
Yeah, it's just gonna take over there.
And
Yeah,
then, I mean, we can go city by city. If there's someone
Yeah.
that wants to run a city, they can contact me. And
Yeah.
if they feel like that their city deserves a best of and a platform like that, yeah, absolutely.
Love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And then so what's kind of next? What's next for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think, post-COVID,
Yeah.
a
How is
lot
that for
of-
you?
It's great because the other hat that we wear is we own the New England Culinary Group, and the New England Culinary Group is comprised of people like me, the industries that support the hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm.
So during COVID, obviously we were very busy just supporting the restaurants.
Yeah.
And then coming out of COVID was a really beautiful sense of renewal,
New beginnings.
revitalization, revisit everything. Yeah, and restaurants changed how they operate. Restaurants stopped trying to be everything to everybody. I think there was just so many, there were a lot of good things that came out of it. And obviously something good had to come out of it because it was just dreadful, especially for our industry. So what we're trying to do now is really work with restaurants on making sure like all their back-end operations are solid and in place. I think what really hurt so many of the restaurants was just being caught with their pants down, just not being ready, because you can't be ready for stuff like that.
No.
But if they all had a back-end infrastructure in place, it would have made it a little more tolerable. They would have had
A little smoother than it was.
Yeah. So we came out of that realizing that where we really shine, in addition to marketing and PR and really kick-ass social media, because my team is phenomenal. But we really shine on the back-end support stuff. So trying to do, get New England Culinary Group more involved. We just started a help desk, which people can go to on the website, where restaurateurs or pending restaurants opening or someone interested in opening a restaurant, if they just want to ask questions and get information, they can just go to a help desk and they can pick from a number of experts. And it's all free. And it's just that we want to, again, that word support. But we want to support the industry. You can say you want to promote it. That's different. We generally want to support the industry.
Right.
And we have lots of knowledge and lots of talent and lots of quick fixes. And, I'm very happy to tell people what I know. I'm always I just want to help.
Yeah.
Because I can.
Right. Yeah, you're in a position to help. People need help. You're not an arsehole. You know what I mean?
I'm not an arsehole. Yeah.
No, yeah.
I don't need to make a fee on everything.
Right.
I share contacts. I share my database.
Yeah.
I pitch for people who can't pitch themselves. I believe in that.
You're just an ultimate networker, I feel like. You're very good at
maybe that's networking. Yeah. I just want to, be like a go-to place.
Yeah.
And my team now gets approached a lot too to help out. And,
Yeah.
We do that where we can. I think the Best of Norwalk project is also gonna kind of feed into the hospitality industry because obviously dining out is the #1 recreational activity. And in Connecticut, it's like that in a lot of states. But Connecticut's held that for a number of years. That it's, believe it or not, it's considered a recreational activity.
Tony would agree with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's great. No, I love that. I think I keep coming back to it, but I think it's a really cool and clever idea to just have a fun, like in terms of presenting it, a fun way to present a city to someone who maybe isn't from there or maybe is from there. And hey, I'm just sick of the same old this. Is there something new out there I could check out? Boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, or I keep seeing that, and I've never been there.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
I remember when we first did like the Norwalk Now, and there was a website, and people would respond on social media, not realizing something with the seaport. They didn't realize that like the public could join that the public could participate. And in the back of my head, I was like, well, what do you think it was there for? Like, and it's you do take for granted what's in your own backyard.
Yeah.
And so I think by having all this information out there, or at least just having it just so accessible. Because the app, you can do transactions on it. You can just hit a button and make a reservation, hit a button
Oh, cool.
and book your fitness class, if that's what that fitness place offers. So I think, people just want, ease.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be easy, and there's nothing wrong with that. And people need to be reminded of what's out there, as well as introduced. It's not always about the new places. There's restaurants that have been around for 20, 30 years, and there's a reason why they've been around for 20, 30 years. But then, you start to take it for granted that they're there, and you'll probably be like, oh gosh, I haven't been there in 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Well, because for the last 20 years, new places keep opening.
Yeah.
And there's one of the challenges with the restaurant industry.
Yeah, it is staying with the times,
Staying
staying relevant. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, it's so hard for some places. That's why, like, usually niche places, restaurants that, like you said, it's from the COVID, like, restaurants have wound down their menu, like, brought it down, have been, like, you don't have to offer everything on your menu. It's a little ridiculous. Overhead's probably a lot for that, too, anyway.
Yeah, if you're trying to cover, it's just ridiculous.
Throwing out more food than you're actually making and selling, so
Right.
it's smart. And honestly, we didn't have, I'd hate to say this, but I'm just gonna be honest, we didn't have a great experience last time we went there, El Segundo, but phenomenal place. I love that place.
It's got a good vibe.
Great
The
vibe.
energy is undeniable.
The little tapas, like, and I told you I love apps, so it's all from all different countries too. You know, the Jamaican beef jerky is so fire there, but we went there, we waited a little long. They were busy, but it's all right.
Yeah, and that's, but that's another thing too, though. I mean, it's not always going to be a perfect experience.
No. Yes, no.
And I think, when consumers are demanding, and,
Yes.
and I used to get in trouble a lot because remember that old saying, the customer is always right. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
I was like, I threw that out the window.
Yeah.
Like the first year it was out, I was like,
No, it's not.
no,
No,
because
they're not.
the customer is not always right. In fact, the customer is usually the one that's pretty tough.
Pretty wrong,
tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, but I think we I don't know who, but we trained the consumer to be that way, and just like there's some restaurants that empower their staff, and then you have some staff that's so cocky and they're not into hospitality, and it's like they're doing you a favor. It works both ways.
Yeah.
But though the customer's not always right.
No, they're not. Like, I'm sorry, Karen and male Karens out there. No, it's awesome. And usually in our show, I don't know if you're a reader, but we always ask what's a book you're reading, or if you aren't, what's a book that has helped you in life? Maybe, for me, it's The Alchemist. Everybody knows that. That's why we started doing that, because that book just got brought up so much on this show in particular, because it's all about finding your purpose, divine destiny, all that jazz. It's a great, great little read. So we like to ask, if there was a book that.
Yeah, I read mostly biographies and autobiographies. I'm really not into fiction.
Yeah.
I like learning about other people's lives. I am actually reading Matthew McConaughey's book right now.
Oh. Well, I freaking love Matthew.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Like,
Crazy life.
Well, everything the way he puts it down on paper is just very raw, very real. So it's almost like when you're reading it, you can hear his voice, because that's how like raw he is about it. And then when he writes about other people, I mean, he's not holding back, and I remember in an interview, he said, not everyone's gonna love what he's writing, but it's the truth. And so, I'm enjoying that. And it's, as far as, autobiographies go, it's a very different, the way he did it is in a very different light. And he just has like that preacher quality about it. So like, I'm always like, I pull out these quotes all the time from the book, and my friends look at me and they're like, quoting Matthew again?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm quoting Matthew.
He's a motivational. If you look at him on YouTube, he's got so many great speeches, and he's just a wise guy. I always felt like he was a real, like, he's not Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's got great sound bites. That's what I call it. Like, he's got so many good sound bites, and it's a really fast read. It's really good. Yeah.
The last autobiography I read actually was Total Recall. I used to be really heavy into biographies and autobiographies growing up. But Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall came out like, I think 5 years ago, maybe. That is hit. You talk about a crazy life, and how he manifested literally where he is right now, and it's just amazing, honestly. And that's, I love education. Like, The Alchemist is a fictional book, but it's an educational. It's more education, motivation driven, more of a self-help type of book. I love books that you get something positive from it, you learn a little bit, and you could grow from it. So I love that. I'm gonna check that out. Honestly.
Check out the Matthew one.
I love him. I love him.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
I always said when we get famous, that's gonna be one of my boys that I'm gonna. Oh yeah, Stud Muffin.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But in like
love
a
him.
very scrappy, messy way.
Yeah.
One of my friends who's still a publicist in the city, I guess, had done an award show, and she had to be one of the. You have to escort them in and out of the staging. And she said to me, because she knows I like him, and she goes, "Oh, he's great, but he smells." And I said, "What do you mean he smells?" And well, he's got this thing. He's just like au naturel. He doesn't believe in cologne. cologne and like all this stuff.
Doesn't wear deodorant either.
He doesn't wear deodorant. Yeah. So she was like, Lynn, he's really great, but he smells. I'm like, I think I like him more now. I'm like, just because he doesn't care.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
he's just a
he's
a free spirit.
yes,
you know?
he's not a try hard.
No.
He's just like, I'm a stud. And this is
And
what
then
it
he
is.
just
This is
douse
me.
myself
Yeah.
in like Calvin Klein.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was great. Do you have anything else? Do you have any questions for her?
Me? I don't think so.
No? Yeah, you've been quiet back there, bud.
Yeah, well, you got all the questions in there.
I know. I just,
Nothing was left unanswered.
Do you have anything you want to add? Oh, yeah, actually, sorry. I actually have it.
Do we do what's
I can't
next?
believe I forgot.
What?
The last thing we do is if you were talking to a young you or, someone like you out there that's young now,
Yeah.
like, 18, maybe or 21 coming out of undergrad, what's some advice for them that you would give?
Oh gosh, I would tell them not to be caught up with what other people are thinking of you. I think, the older, I loved my 30s. My 40s were even better. I hit 50 and it was just like, everything gets easier because you don't care.
Yeah.
And don't take that the wrong way because I care about everything. But what I don't care about is the perception of me.
Right.
Is the perception of the company. Why are there so many people scrutinizing and looking in on you and looking in on it? I mean, it's such a crazy thing. If I look back and I was like so wound up about what people could say, would say, did say, and even to this day, I had somebody say to me, "Oh, you should promote yourself more. You don't do enough to promote yourself." And I was like, well, you're never going to see my team and I putting our face in the social media. You're never going to, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We're true publicists where we're on the back end.
Yes.
And true publicists, you don't even see their faces.
Yeah.
Because they're all about their clients.
Right.
But I did finally, I was like, you know what? I'm so sick of people telling me that I don't promote myself. Then how am I successful if I'm not, So I said to them, I promote myself every day. And they're like, how? I said, because I do the work.
Yeah.
That's how I promote myself
Yeah.
every day. I just do the
And
work.
show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get it done. And, so looking back, and I was so worried about, projects I was taking on. And I remember even just going to events, like I would be all cut up and like looking a certain way. What do I care? And I tell younger people now, like, just stop, just keep your head down
Yeah.
and do your work and you will get noticed.
Right.
You don't have to put yourself out there in such a way to get noticed.
And I love that advice because, for example, with us, this we obviously outsource work, but this is our original content. This is what we want to be our bread and butter. And TikTok's a huge thing right now, right?
Yeah.
We don't do TikTok like TikTok. You know what I mean? We do it our own way. We do it our own style. We're not dancing and it's like
what's that going to do for you?
I just
like,
think
at the end
it's
of the day.
so dumb. But
Yeah.
I love that advice because a lot of people make up a lot of stuff in their head based off of what they think other people are thinking, and then they don't ultimately do things because they care what those people are thinking. Like when in reality, who fucking cares?
Right.
Because they're not eating from your plate.
Right.
They're not living your life. They're somewhere else, and they're honestly hating on you, and probably most of the 9 times out of 10 because they wish they could do what you're doing. They want to do that. They want to have the galls to do that. So I love that.
Yeah, we just keep our head down. I don't. Yeah, even my team because they get teased about it a lot. And Julie, who's my social media director, she even said to me recently, she was like, she says that people don't even know what I look like. I'm like, isn't that great? Isn't that freeing? Isn't that like, you're just doing your work. They don't know like what we look like a lot of the times.
Right.
Like they'll meet me for the first time. They'll be like, holy shit, you're Linda Kavanagh? Like, I don't know what they thought, but when only you're emailing people or whatnot, and then you finally see, in person, I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like producers for movies.
Yeah.
They're behind the scenes.
They behind the scenes, make a whole lot of money, get, the credit, and then they get to live normal lives. No one's got to bother them taking photos with them because he's probably sitting right next to us at Harborview, some big time. We wouldn't even know it.
No.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. I love this episode, honestly. And I love you guys. And I love you, Tony.
I love you, man.
Guys, keep liking, commenting, subscribing. Next episode is
Friday,
Brendan Donahue. Rob
baby.
Johnson tomorrow.
Oh.
So next episode will be Rob Johnson. Make sure you guys tune into that. And then after that is Brendan Donahue. Can't wait for that. Love you guys. Peace.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.